What's going on, guys? It's Aaron May back again. Extra Reverb podcast brought to you by AME Media. So happy to be here. This is the weekly recon number 8, if I'm not mistaken. And this week, super excited about what we've got on the slate. We're talking about the mission mindset and how we turn goals into victories with discipline, strategy, and execution. Okay? This is something that is just imperative for us to understand. You can't have a goal without a clear mission, without clear steps on how you're going to get there. Then it's just a dream, it's just a hope. You can't just wake up and think something's going to happen, right? People get that confused with manifestation all the time. I'm going to manifest this, and they think they're just going to sit on the couch and visualize it, and it's going to appear before them. That's not how it works. The manifestation comes from believing wholeheartedly with all of your being that you're going to get there. And yes, visualizing it. But while you're doing that, you have to be taking steps toward your objective. Excuse me. You have to be taking action towards your goal and have a clear path to victory. When I was in the Marine Corps, one of the times I can think about that is a great example of this, and it's actually a training example, is one of the toughest things to execute that I can remember doing, just in terms of the things that we had to overcome, all the different variables that were out there, CQBs, you get that. It's during the day. There's all kinds of things we did that were tough and challenging, and you had to push yourself. But this particular training exercise for me is one of the toughest things that we did. And what it was nighttime land navigation. And I'm talking with a map and a compass. And it was probably, 500 acres of just woods. And in these woods were 10 mailboxes. Not in the same place, mind you, 10 mailboxes somewhere out in the woods in different locations. And on each mailbox, there was a symbol painted on the mailbox, a different symbol for each mailbox. And what we had to do was you had to use the coordinates and navigate to each mailbox and record what symbol was painted on the mailbox to prove that you found it, right? And you had a certain amount of time to do it, and it was at night. So total darkness in the uncleared, dense woods, and it was tough, man. And the only way that you were going to do this was to remember the objective, obviously record the symbols painted on the mailboxes, and to execute using what you had learned, which is how to use the compass, how to read the map, how to coordinate the two. If you weren't able to use the compass effectively at night, you were going to get lost in those woods. And I thought I was lost a couple times. It was extremely challenging. But you remember the mission. You remember, if I take these steps using my map and my compass, and I do what I'm supposed to do, and I chip away at it, and I just continue to trust the process, I'm going to find the mailbox, and I'm going to work my way to each one. I'm going to get this done. I'm going to get home, and it's going to be over. So how do we connect that to everyday things that the majority of people go through, right? Having a goal is exactly like planning that mission. And if you don't have a clear target and a clear strategy on how to complete that mission, you're just wandering. You're just wandering in the woods, lost. So I want to promise you that we're going to develop a step-by-step plan to turn your goals into victories with real-world examples. And I hope that you can walk away from this understanding more deeply what it's going to take to get where you want to go and succeed. So let's dive into it. All right. Why does a mission mindset matter? Okay. We talked about it already a little bit in the beginning. We have vague dreams of grandiose, and I want this, whatever it is. I want to have 1 million YouTube subscribers. I want to start my own successful business. I want to quit my job and work for myself. I want to get that promotion at work. I want to sell X amount of volume this quarter, this year. I want to get this car. I want to have my wife stop working. I want to be able to afford a trip to Disney World for my kid's birthday. Whatever it is, right? It can be anything. Whatever it is in your world that you want to accomplish, okay? You don't win a battle by hoping. You need a plan. You need resources. You need to use the resources you have at your disposal, and you need grit and determination to never quit, to continue forward. Now, a great example of this that I can think of is General Patton. Always famous for setting clear objectives, adapting under pressure. Okay? This is the same as an entrepreneur launching a business. You need a business plan. You need an execution strategy. You go, I need to complete X, Y, Z. And then A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. And that's how I'm going to get here. Right? Without a mission mindset, without approaching this as this is my mission, this is my objective, and this is how I'm going to complete my objective, you're going to drift. You're going to miss opportunities. And then most likely when you're faced with obstacles, you're just going to give up because you don't know where to go. You don't know what to do. Don't give up. Conquer the obstacle. Solve the problem using the resources you have. Make it happen. And that is a lot easier to do when you have a clear plan of, okay, I need to complete this, and this to get to here. If I want to start a business, I need my business plan. I need to formulate the company. I need to fund formulating the company. Now I need to implement what the company's going to do. I need to create my product. I need to create my course. I need to hire the right people. I need to grow this much in this amount of time. I need to have sold this many units by this date, by this year. And when you can do that, when you come to an obstacle in the road, you're going to go, okay, I've got a roadblock here. How do I get over or around this roadblock and execute what the objective was in the next step of claiming victory over my goals? Okay. And we do this by having core pillars and having the right mindset. And I want to go over that. What are our core pillars of a mission mindset? Let's break it down. Let's make it simple. I think you've already are getting the understanding of what you have to do here. But again, let's make it clear. We need a clear objective to complete the mission. Okay. So the first thing you need to do, define your objective. Explain to yourself, to your business partner, what the objective is. Make sure everyone's on the same page. Set specific, measurable goals. Okay. Not, I want to get fit, but I want to run a 5K in under 25 minutes by December. That's a specific goal. Getting fit would be the objective, but then I have a specific goal, a measurable, to see how I'm doing, so I know if I'm succeeding or failing. Okay? When we go out on patrol, we always want to have an objective for that patrol. We're not just wandering the streets hoping not to get engaged or hoping to just, hopefully we run into combatants. If you go back to our routines episode, this is something that's critical in this. I was back on in April. We talked about routines and how to set routines. I definitely recommend you go check that one out. And that's going to emphasize the importance of daily habits. And these daily habits get us closer to our success. These are the backbone of our success, showing up every single day. If you want to run that 5K in under 25 minutes, you need to be working towards that time. You need to be running. You need to be working out. You need to be eating right. You need to have that discipline day in and day out. After we've defined our objective, we know what the plan is. We know where we need to get to. We know what needs to happen. Now we need to plan our attack. Create a strategy. Okay, I need to identify my resources. What do I have at my disposal? What are my resources to make this happen? I want to do a podcast episode. What do I need? I need a microphone. I need a camera. I need show notes. I need to understand what I'm going to be talking about. I need an interface to record my vocals into so I can distribute it. I need accounts to distribute the podcast. I need marketing materials. I need content for my social media pages to push the episode out. I need to understand how to get that episode out there. I need to understand how the programs work to distribute the episode. I'm planning my attack, okay? And then I need timelines. When do I need this to happen by, right? We referenced earlier, it's not just I want to run a 5K in 25 minutes. I want to do it by December. That's the timeline. I need to record this episode because I want it out by Friday. And I need to do XYZ to get it out by Friday, not just eventually. Okay? Do we understand that? Plan the attack. Now, once you've planned, you need to execute with discipline. Stay focused. There are going to be obstacles, which when you're planning your attack, let me mention, you need to also look at what are the potential obstacles I could face. My kids have after-school programs. I'm not going to be able to do that then. I have meetings. I have to do my other work. I have this, and this to do. I need to make sure that I'm able to distribute my podcast to these websites around my schedule to make sure it gets out by Friday. I need to make sure I'm getting up early enough so I can run. I need to make sure I'm disciplined enough that if I can't run before, I'm running in the evening. After the kids are settled, the family's asleep, whatever it is. I need to execute with discipline. There's going to be pressure. Okay, that deadline's approaching. I need to stay focused. Stick to what I know I need to do. Stick to the steps I outlined. Huge thing in the Marine Corps is maintaining composure. It's drilled into you from day one. Sometimes, like straight in boot camp, they're yelling at you. Those drone sergeants are yelling insults, and sometimes it's even hard not to laugh because the insult is just so ridiculous. I had a tough time not laughing at first. They're an inch away from your face. You're getting spit on your cheeks and your eyes. They're this close to you. And you need to maintain composure. You need to learn how to maintain your composure under that pressure. That IED goes off, your bell's rung, you can't hear anything, there's dust and dirt everywhere, total chaos. Get yourself together, keep moving, if at all possible. Obviously, there are circumstances in that example where you're not going to be able to do anything because, limbs are blown off and these things. But if you are okay, it is your responsibility to maintain your composure and to help protect as many Marines as possible and get them out of that situation. There are so many things we can do as civilians too. And time blocking. Make sure you got your calendar set. This goes back to routines. I'm doing this from this time to this time. And that's all that I'm doing from that time to that time. Then, okay, that time's up. I need to move on. I need to stick to my schedule. Set your calendar. I cannot tell you how important it is to set your calendar and to stick to your calendar. Leave some room for flexibility because things change. We need to adapt, but set your calendar, stick to your schedules. Okay? Have accountability partners. If you have a business partner, if you have a coworker that's working on the same project you are, if you have someone else who wants to get fit that's run with you, hold each other accountable. Hey, did you run today? Hey, did you get that report done today? Hold each other accountable. Hey, you said you were going to do this by Friday. Did you get it done? Counting on you to do that. A little bit of external pressure is a great motivator sometimes. Not wanting to let someone else down. It's a great motivator for me. These are just a couple of tools we have at our disposal when we're executing with discipline. Okay. And then also adapt and overcome. I talked about adversity back in May on another episode that I recommend you check out. How do we overcome adversity? You break that down deep detail. Okay. So when a plan fails, when you hit that roadblock and this isn't working, you need to know how to pivot. You need to figure out how to pivot to keep going. You need to adapt your strategy to overcome that obstacle because plans are going to fail. Things are not going to go smooth. If they do, more power to you. But if they don't, which they most likely will not go exactly according to plan, and things are not going to turn out exactly how you wanted or how you envisioned them at the beginning all the time, you need to be able to adapt. You need to be able to swerve around, right? Change lanes, keep moving forward. If you in business, when there's a supply chain crisis, what are we going to do? We're going to start manufacturing it ourselves. We're going to find resources. If you live in a place where it snows a lot and you're trying to get fit, you're trying to run, oh my gosh, we got a snowstorm. I'm snowed in. Okay, what can I do? I can run in place. Do I have a treadmill? Do I have stairs that I can go up and down? Pull up YouTube. Get a quick at-home cardio workout in. Something to keep you moving forward towards your goal because you've only got a few months before you got to run that 5K in under 25 minutes according to your timeline. We don't want to fail that mission. Okay? There's so many different ways to do these things in the real world. Okay? It's not just something that's just, oh yeah, you can do this and you're definitely going to be successful. No, these are things that are actually tangible that we can apply to our life. Okay? Fitness is one of my favorite. There's tons of examples, but fitness is one of the most relatable that I think. Being in shape, eating right, using these things to our advantage. Okay? Do your research. I knew someone that was extremely overweight. They were miserable and they wanted to get in shape. So what did they do? They didn't sit back and complain about it. They didn't look for easy one push buttons, these Ozempic drugs to freaking just shed the weight in an unhealthy way. And now my bones are deteriorating and God knows what other problems I'm going to have later in life. They said, okay, let me get with a dietitian or nutritionist and let's look at my diet. What can I change in my diet? What is something that I'm doing with my diet affecting me with this weight? Obviously, that's the first place to start. How can I adjust my diet? They adjusted their diet. They started having a little more energy because they weren't eating Twinkies and Cokes at 10 o'clock at night. They're eating their meat and potatoes. They got a good balanced diet. They're not overeating, right? They're getting their calories right. They're making sure that they're executing on the diet. And this gives them more energy. Now, okay, I need to hit the gym. Obviously, I'm not going to go and just, what are my goals? I need to lose weight. So I need to burn calories. I need to work at a deficit. So I've got my diet, my calories right now. I need to make sure that I'm burning more than I'm eating. So that's what they did. Right? Someone that wants to shed a bunch of weight isn't probably going to skip cardio and just power lift. Right? They're going to hit that treadmill. They hit the stair climber. They hit the treadmill. They got sweat going. I think this particular person I'm talking about did some CrossFit. Okay. Find what you like to do, something you enjoy, and execute on it. Now, there's other more real world examples. It doesn't have to be something in business or in fitness, right? It can just be, hey, I'm a single parent. I want to balance work and get better education so I can get a better job and provide more for my family. Okay, so how am I going to do that? I got to set my schedule so that I'm still able to take care of my kids, work, and now I've got time set aside to work towards a degree in what I want to do, or work towards a certification in what I need to do to get that better job or get that higher pay. That's a very good real world example of someone in their something personal that they want to accomplish. Okay. And sometimes it's difficult, right? I've got a 4-year-old. She asks a ton of questions. She always wants to interact with me. And just relentless questions. I'm trying to get something done, questions. And I just need to stay focused despite the distractions. Answer the questions, but stay focused, get the job done. That's a terrible example, but it's just I thought it was a funny way to make light of it, right? I've been very serious here. Now, how can we put this all into action now? What can we do? What are some takeaways? Okay. I want to challenge you to pick one goal, write down your mission brief with a clear objective, strategy, and the first step you're going to take within 24 hours of writing it down. That is your challenge. Go and do that right now. What is the objective of my mission? What is my strategy to get there? And what is the first step I can take in the next 24 hours to start? Okay. And now I also want to challenge you with a 7-day mission mindset challenge here. Okay. Kind of like our routines challenge, if anyone did it, right? I want you to track your progress. Once you set your mission, you've got your objective, you've got your strategy. Now I want you to track your progress and share it on a social media page. Hashtag it Mission Mindset so we can take a look. Right? If you don't want to post it, you don't want to get public because it's too personal, whatever it is, send it to me. extrarvrb@gmail.com. That's extrarvrb@gmail.com. Send it. Give me your progress after 7 days. And then after another 7 days. I love to hear how people are putting this stuff to use and seeing success with it. Nothing makes me happier. And let's just see how far we can go applying these things. Start small, stay consistent, but you're building endurance. We're building endurance through daily drills, daily routines, positive habits, staying focused on our clear objective. If you need to take your objective and put it on your mirror in the morning, so when you're brushing your teeth, you see this is my objective, you don't forget. And then you can go to your strategy and make sure you're executing on your strategy to get to that mission. Okay, so what is our mission mindset? Let's just break it down, recap it. Define the mission, plan, execute, and adapt as needed. That is how we claim victory. Every victory starts with a single step. Make this week your first step. Right now. and let's get after it. Okay? Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Again, I cannot wait. I hope that you take something away from this. I hope that you're implementing it and seeing success doing so. Or, if you just like to listen, that's fine too. But I appreciate everyone for tuning in. It's not possible for me to do this without you. We are taking actionable steps towards getting that Patreon up because I don't want to just have it up and have people waiting. I want it to be ready to go, locked and loaded for you from day one. And we are getting it there. We're getting the content filmed, getting everything taken care of, squared away. So it is ready for you to hop in and start achieving that mission mindset from day one. Got some great guests lined up. Still want to be able to hit you weekly, even though, we got to work with guest schedules as well as ours to get them in here and learn all about them and their amazing stories and have some great conversations. But I still want to keep you guys engaged weekly with some useful content. And again, can't be more appreciative. If you want to support the show at all, 5-star review is free, doesn't cost you a dime, and it really helps us. It goes a long way. So go ahead, like, subscribe, leave a review, comment, share it with your friends if you found this valuable, any piece of it. And just couldn't be more grateful to get to do this week in and week out. Thank you all for listening. Until next time, Aaron May, Extra Reverb Podcast. Peace out.